join me, I am your host Dreadwing. Dive into the world of magic and explore the most stories full of wonder. Fantastic gold delights. The lights.
Chapter 5. Gold works it, belts. Gold looks so uncomfortable standing in front of your shed. Gold is the only skeleton in the house whose voice you have not heard. To communicate, he uses a notebook to scribble sentences and sketches to everyone except his brother. You're sure he whispers to his brother, but you haven't found the need to eavesdrop on the brothers' conversations. It's not too hard to imagine what a papyrus voice sounds like. There are 7 of them around. His drawings, though, are really good, but not very useful here at the homestead. You heard rumors at posts that some of the coastline survivors use artists to imagine what their loved ones would look like as zombies and hire hunters to return their corpses to be buried. However, those jobs do not pay well, and are definitely not worth the gas to make the trip. But having skilled hands for delicate jobs? That's an ability with endless valuable uses. It takes 2 days to figure out a job or 2 for gold, and you are pretty excited to start teaching him some of your more profitable skills. However, until certain resources become available, you're thinking of borrowing him for winter preparations until you get what you need. Raz, however, was ready to throw hands with you when you approached his brother after breakfast to begin work. "It's time to put your skilled hands to use," you had said. You weren't sure how that was misunderstood. It was meant to boost his confidence, but Raz looked murderously at you, while Gold tried to completely hide himself behind his brother. The timid skeleton could really move and hide when he wanted to. You filed that bit of information away for later. "Didn't you mention to him last night you had figured out how he could pull his own?" "You swore you did." "You dare?" sputtered a furious Raz. "I dare?" you questioned. "It's time he pulled his own weight and I could use another body to help stretch some leather." It took them too long to register what you said. Their stiff postures and defensive stances make you suspect Gold was assaulted at some point in his life. The thought angers you. Gold does share a face with your best friend, after all, but you don't question their reactions. If they want you to know, they'll tell you. You should have been more direct at the start. The situation does, however, solidify your thoughts about keeping Gold out of reach from zombies and other survivors. People take advantage of weaknesses for their own profit, and Gold might just be the weakest link of the group in terms of combat. If he has half the trauma Vanilla has, it could be dangerous for everyone. You would love to be proven wrong, though. You're not sure how much dirty laundry from these guys you have the capacity for. The shed you and Gold stand in front of is your workstation. A small cast ironwood stove sits on the west side of the building. A pipe chimney to the stove goes through the shed's roof and exits the east side. You assure him it's not going to catch fire and it keep the shed warm in the winter. A tree casts a shadow over the east side skinning and butchering block. Gold notices how unusually clean the butcher block is, and rope burns on the tree's strongest looking branch. Gold pales as you open the shed. The smell is unpleasant. Shelves holding wooden boxes of curing soap combine with the aroma of bad meat. You walk in as if unable to smell it. You grab the handle of a large full bucket. They're rabbit and raccoon pelts. Why can't he stop shaking? "Breath, Gold," you command, setting the bucket down outside. Gold takes a few steps back and staggers down onto the wet grass. The sight of the pelts are making him woozy. His breathing is uneven. He grips the hood of his sweater and pulls it as far over his skull as the fabric will allow. This is going to be harder than you thought. You pick up an empty bucket from the shed and flip it upside down. Grabbing Gold by the sides, you hoist him up and set him on the bucket. For the first time, you notice his hoodie lacks the fluffy fur some of the others have. Did you make the wrong choice here? Is he what is term for food secured meatless folk vegan? No, that can't be right. He didn't respond poorly to the skinned animals the group ate for meals. Enjoyed most of the meals, actually. You know he's seen those belts. Sprout makes a point not to hide any of the steps in case anyone is secretly trying to learn. This is something else. This is a panic attack, but you're not sure why the sight of the pelts trigger him. Maybe it's not the pelts? Could it have been the smell? He was fine up until you opened the shed door. It's not the best smelling place, but it's a scent you're used to. Gold, you speak softly. Look at me. Wobbling eyelids try to focus on your face. I know you don't like this, and if you can't do this job, I will find something else for you, you say slowly and clearly. We can work farther away from this shed, but the work we do here is for your brother and the group. His eyelids wobble less as he listens. A good sign. Gold's breathing is calming down, but still shaky. It took us 2 years to make the machine what it was, and I hope the others can get it back in order soon. However, there is a very real possibility of you guys staying at least one winter here. Gold's eyes look at the ground. You remove one of your braces and gently lift his chin to keep his eyes on you. He's trembling. You lower your hand to stop touching him, but hover your palm under his chin. The trembling lessens. Winters are too cold here near the mountain without adequate protection, you continue. We'll need warm blankets to curl into at night. Mittens for our hands. Hats for our heads. I was hoping you would help me turn these furs into nice, warm fuzzy blankets for Raz and the others. He stops trembling completely and is looking at you with more resolve. A mental note to bring up Raz more whenever Gold starts having panic attacks is made. You give your warmest smile to Gold. The poor skeleton looks worn out. He still lightly grips his hood. What do you say, friend? It's a bit of a learning curve, and slow work, but I'll help you every step of the process. Will you help me make some nice winter blankets? Okay. Your eyes widen in surprise as a more genuine smile pulls at your lips. Okay, you agree, pulling your bracer back on. Turns out Gold's hands are perfect for gently pulling and stretching the delicate rabbit hides. Scout told you something a couple years ago about the benefits of positive reinforcement, so you make sure to praise Gold's work often. His cheekbones heat up with yellow magic every time you do. He works the pelt slowly. After the 5th or so pelt, Gold seems to actually start to relax. His hands brush over each fur, enjoying their softness. You make sure to only hand him rabbit hides and none of the slightly rougher furred raccoon. Everything is calm until Raz shows up. You spot him first, watching his brother with an unreadable face. It's clear he notices the bags under his brother's eyes. Raz catches your gaze and straightens up and frowns. He stomps over. Come get lunch, or don't eat at all, shouts Raz. Gold lurches in surprise and accidentally rips off a piece of the rabbit belt. He stares at the ground and trembles. Raz eyes you harshly, waiting for your reaction. Do they think you're going to go off on them? After all the damn effort you put in? Oh, sweet, you say, catching them by surprise. Can it have that piece? That's just the right size to patch my chest piece. Quickly untying the side strings, you pull off your chest piece and hold it out to show them the hole. They don't notice, their eyes lock on your suddenly unarmored torso. Are you skinnier than they thought or something? Very few survivors have any form of body fat, especially in the spring. You have a shirt on, it's not like you are flashing a bare body to them. So why are they so surprised? Are you out of your mind? Snaps Raz. Gold reaches forward and grabs your armor piece, and returns it to your torso. He gives the side strings a light tug to make sure it's secure. His eyes don't meet yours. What's your problem? You frown, tie your armor strings. Do you even realize what you've done? Continues Raz. Disarmoring yourself in front of others you barely know? Males you've just met? Do you know the implications? Never display a vulnerable state like that to me again. Out of everything that has happened this week, Raz stomping away from you after his rant is the weirdest. You wouldn't have taken your armor off if you didn't think you could take them in a fight. Nothing personal, just how it is here. Gold hands you a piece of paper before following his brother. Sorry, it's an our universe thing. Doing something like that is for trusted friends and family. Did Gold just say he and his brother just shot down a friendship request you didn't know you were offering? Well, fuck them, too. You didn't want to be their friend anyway. No way you're pouting or bitter as you put the pelts away for later. Not in the slightest. No, Siri. Absolutely has nothing to do with them sharing your boys' faces, either. Not at all. As night falls, Scout finds himself admiring the sky from on the roof. Stars twinkle brilliantly against the black canvas of night. One of the few perks of being on the surface, and the real reason Scout takes night watch. On clear nights, when everyone is safely sleeping, is the best. Hey, buddy, Vanilla plops down next to Scout. Mind if I join? Scout makes a non-committal hum. Vanilla lays back and gazes up at the stars. The stars are so much brighter here, Vanilla says, quietly. Scout takes a long look at his alternate. Vanilla's eyes reflect the stars, and for the first time, he looks truly relaxed. Scout rubs the back of his head in annoyance. He was looking forward to some quiet time. He sighs as he sets his bow down at his side. Yeah, agrees Scout, getting comfy. There's barely any light pollution, it makes the sky pop. Vanilla hums in agreement. Scout finds himself not liking this silence. What are you doing up here, Vanilla? Asks Scout, directly. Can't a monster enjoy the stars? I'm not playing these games, Sans. Scout responds. It's weird calling someone else by his name. Vanilla sighs and sits up. I have a couple of questions for ya, bud. Yeah, I figured. I've been picking my skull on why this world is so different than ours, starts Vanilla. Got a few ideas, but need some more information. Where's your Frisk? Dead, next. Vanilla's eye lights go out. What? Scout glares at Vanilla. What part of dead didn't he get? Vanilla appears to be waiting for an explanation. Frisk lived with us for a while. Sighed Scout, after a moment. Good kid. Wanted to live with us forever. Paps loved them. His first real friend. He begged Undyne not to take them. Never seen my bro cry like that. Vanilla's eye lights return, but he is quiet. He begins to feel uncomfortable. But the underground was beginning to run out of resources and as Gore just needed one more soul. Undyne was determined to be the hero the underground needed. We learned the hard way when the barrier fell why the kid was so adamant about not leaving the underground. The falling of the barrier attracted every zombie in Airbot. Lot of monsters dusted that first day. Turns out zombies are walking corpses of killer intent. Vanilla flinches. Scout pauses for a moment, his eye lights fuzzy. He's lost in a memory. We were massively overwhelmed by the numbers. Didn't know how to fight something immune to magic. Never thought something like that could exist. Undyne and Gore were some of the first to fall, trying to hold back the horde from the others. Some got away, but not many. I grabbed Paps and took a shortcut as far away as I could see. Didn't the kid reset? Whispers Vanilla. There is a beat of silence. The fuck's a reset? A lot of things suddenly start to make sense to Vanilla. Your Frisk didn't come back after their souls shattered? Scout's eye lights go dark. Your Frisks can. Do. What? Your Frisk's alive? Scout clamps his jaw shut to control his volume. Yeah, bud. As far as I know, Yours is the only one who we know who isn't. Scout buries his skull in his hands. His mind races with thoughts of possibilities, of what life could have been like. You okay, but? Do you think I'm okay? Glares Scout. You just told me our kid is the only one who actually dies. Paps damn near fell down when the barrier first broke. His soul cracked. Vanilla winces at the information. Scout shakily inhales to calm himself. His eyes focus on his counterpart. Vanilla feels his sins crawling on his back. Now I have a question for you, quietly speaks Scout. Your Frisk is alive, you have food, shelter, relatively no reason to fight, or leave your world. Why were you making the machine? Scout listens as Vanilla explains about trying to bring Gaster back from the void. Something about him being family? Shock has him a little fuzzy on details. He realizes how deep the differences go between their worlds. Bud, if you weren't trying to bring Gaster back, where is your Gaster? Gaster fell down in the underground years ago when Paps and I were just baby bones. After his death, Alphys was assigned his old position as the royal scientist. Oh, sorry to hear that. It was years ago. I barely remember the guy. Yeah, Sans replies, awkwardly. So, mind if I ask one more question? Shoot. How exactly did the surface end up like this? Vanilla lightly grips his chin in contemplation. It's like it's magically charged, but dying at the same time? Scout snorts at that. He settles back into his watch position. If you want a history lesson of the surface, we both know who you need to talk to, Bud. Vanilla doesn't notice, but Scout spots a single red glowing eye staring at him from the darkness. Doesn't that guy ever sleep?
I'm glad you enjoyed that video/gameplay. Just remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Until next time, goodbye!